Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech and Auto Show. I'm your host Manav Sinha and I'm really happy to see all of you once again. It's been a week, it's been a long week, and so is the case in the world of technology and automobiles. A week, a lot can happen in that time, and it has. So we've got a lot of things to cover. Let's kick the show off by first showing you what you can expect over the course of the next half an hour. This week we'll be taking you for a drive in the all-new BMW 6 Series Gran Turismo. Then we'll be taking a look at the HP Chromebook 11A, and we'll also talk about PUBG. So all of that will be coming your way and a little bit more as well. And like we said, we're going to start off with the BMW 6 Series Gran Turismo. Now that has been recently launched and that is the latest BMW to come to our market. How is it? Well, I got my hands on the 6 GT and here's how my experience went. Now the BMW 6 Series Gran Turismo has been one of my favorite BMWs because of the reason that I believe that this strikes a great balance between performance, practicality, premiumness, and it also has the looks that gives you that wow factor that makes you stand out of the crowd. Now for the year 2021, BMW is bringing back the 6 Series GT with a facelift and some added new features. So we're going to find out what those features are and we'll tell you what the car brings to the table for the money it asks from you. Let's start with the changes in terms of design, and all of it is basically at the front. The 6 GT now has a sharper, bolder look, and honestly, I think it looks way better than the older GT. And since it is yet to get that massive grille that other brand new BMWs are getting, this is your chance at getting an updated BMW minus that grille, if that is something that bothers you. On the whole though, the 6 GT keeps its formula intact, which is of a long bonnet, huge wheelbase, and the sloping roofline, which gives it its unique presence. Now the last thing before we step inside the car, we have to talk about the pop-up spoiler. Now if you're someone like me, this makes the car cooler, doesn't it? Now usually this comes out after 120 kilometers an hour automatically, but there's also a button on the center console. If you press that, it stays up like this. It's a cool feature, isn't it? Now let's get inside. Alright, let's talk interiors, let's talk changes, and the big change are the screens. You see, the infotainment system is now bigger, it's also the latest generation unit, and of course the touch response and everything is fantastic. These things are great. But also the instrument cluster is now all digital. Now both of these screens combined gives you an array of practicality, functionality, and it's really intuitive to use. This is a really great experience to have while you're driving. Additionally, there's a lot of compartment spaces all around you. The fit and finish, the quality is premium, and also if you want, you can put in your phone over here and it will wirelessly charge. So pretty much covering all the bases that you would want from the 6 GT. Now coming to the rear seat experience of the 6 GT, the driver's seat has been set as per my height. For reference, I'm 5'10", and you can see I have all the space that I could want. The seats are really comfortable, ergonomically they're spot on, and I can adjust the backrest with a touch of a button if I want. That's a really nice touch. Speaking of touch, there are screens in front of me, they're adjustable, and yes, they are touch responsive as well. Another great feature over here is the fact that with the push of a button, I can have these shades pop up, again for some privacy if I want to. So all in all, it's a really nice, plush, comfortable place to be in. You'll like this place. Keep in mind though that the electrically operated blinds are optional, and so is the panoramic sunroof that you see in our test car. The 16-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, however, is standard, and so is the support for wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Lastly, talking of practicality, the boot space is a massive 600 liters even with the rear seats up, so airport runs and highway drives won't be a problem. And that nicely brings us to the driving experience. Now the BMW 6 GT will come with 3 drivetrain options. 2 of them are diesel. You can either have it with a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder diesel engine with the 620D, or you can have it with an inline 6-cylinder 3-liter diesel engine with the 630D. There's a petrol engine option as well, that is the one that we are driving. This is the 630i, and this gets a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder petrol engine. This engine makes 258 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque and comes with an 8-speed automatic transmission. This makes the car capable of doing 0 to 100 km an hour in just 6.5 seconds and go on to achieve a top speed of 250 km an hour. Now these are the numbers, but as for the experience, the 6 GT is quite versatile. You have a long list of driving modes to choose from, and you also get to customize it as per your needs, or simply you can put it in adaptive mode, which does all the selections for you. In the sportier setting, it's a typical BMW, which is to say that it offers excellent feedback to the driver and has an engaging driving experience. The suspension and the drivetrain adapt and give you a crisper response. The car will also lower itself by 10 mm post 120 km an hour if it is in sport mode for added stability. And talking of which, while cornering, you feel the perfect 50-50 weight distribution aiding you in all of it. However, through a button on the center console, you can also raise the height of the car by 20 mm for added practicality, like going through steep ramps or bad patches of roads. The ground clearance in default mode is good enough for you to not fret over large speed breakers. So you get the idea. City or highways, bad roads or speed breakers, the 6 GT did well. And with all the practicality and other features, it really does come across as a wholesome package. So to sum up the BMW 6 Series Gran Turismo, or the 6 GT in short, is that this car continues to be a great mix of performance, practicality and has great looks as well. The thing is, usually the case with the 6 GT has been that the BMW 5 Series is such incredible value for money that you really need to want to have a body style like the 6 GT. Now with the 2021 iteration, the updates that BMW has given it, it's far better value for money than before, and hence it makes a lot more sense for you to spend that extra little bit of cash for a car like this. Moving on to world of technology, well, Chromebooks actually make a lot of sense if you look at them on paper because, well, if you're looking for a laptop to simply get your work done or study off of, well, Chromebooks make a lot of sense, don't they? As of now though, it's only HP that seems to be working in that direction, as HP has come out with the Chromebook 11A. It's priced at about 22,000 rupees, but what is it bringing to the table? Well, Vishal is finding that out up next.
Are you in the market to buy a new laptop? Be honest, chances are you're looking either at Windows 10 laptops, or if you have a budget big enough, you're probably looking at the Apple MacBook series, which runs the Apple macOS. Or if you're geeky enough, you're probably considering buying a laptop which runs Windows 10, but you will end up installing Linux on it, one of the Linux distros. What you're probably missing out on, and you're probably making a mistake here, is you're missing out on Google's Chrome OS. Specifically, the Google Chromebooks. At this time in India, not many laptop makers are really focusing on Chromebooks. That's where all the credit goes to HP, because every year they are introducing new machines to their Chromebook lineup. We have one here as well. This is the latest Chromebook from the house of HP. This is the Chromebook 11A, and well, this has some rather intriguing elements to it. First of all, this is an 11.6-inch display. So let me get this out of the way first and foremost. This is a screen size that will work for you if you need a laptop for, let's say, work environment and work situations such as writing a lot of emails, working on documents, maybe browsing the web, and you need portability primarily. In terms of the design, this looks absolutely brilliant. It's got a matte blue finish, and well, the only giveaway that this is a Chromebook is the Chromebook logo here. Apart from that, it looks pretty much like any Windows laptop that you may have used so far. And if you don't really notice the Chromebook logo, you will probably think this is a Windows laptop. In terms of the build quality, it's quite light. It's just over 1 kg, but that doesn't mean it's built badly. There are very good materials in use here. This feels great to hold, and it's quite light as well. Now on to Chrome OS. So what's really so great about Chrome OS? The thing with Chrome OS is the simplicity. It started out with those simple foundations of providing a computing platform for, let's say, education, for work, for home usage, which did not really need a very powerful machine to work properly. What we have here with Chrome OS is a continuity of that sort of simplicity. Yes, Chrome OS has grown up over time. It's become more versatile. There are more and more apps available for it now. but it still at its core remains a very frugal and a lightweight operating system. This is, I don't know about you, but the first laptop that I've used with a MediaTek processor on it, and the takeaway of that experience has been absolutely pristine. This doesn't slow down at all. Chrome OS just works very smoothly. Apps open in a pretty snappy fashion, and even if you leave a few apps open in the background, it doesn't really slow down. That's great, because if you look at a laptop around the 20,000-25,000 rupee price point that runs Windows 10, you would be hard pressed to find something that works smoothly. This has 4 gigs of RAM, which for a Windows 10 laptop is a pure no-go. You need at least 8 GB of RAM for it to work smoothly and for it to be future-proof enough. Good battery life too. I got about 14 hours of battery life on a single charge when using this as a typical laptop for work the entire day. That's great. You probably will be able to get through a day at work without having to carry the charger around. In terms of the overall performance and the overall experience, it's the simplicity, like I said before, which really continues to be the game changer for Chrome OS. Even though not a lot of people on the shop floor are paying attention to this sort of operating system will work the best if you actually invested in the Google ecosystem of apps and services. Gmail, Google Drive, Google Docs, that sort of stuff. It's going to work very, very well there, but that doesn't mean that that's the only scenario where it will work. You have the Play Store now, which offers 1 million apps, simply because Chrome OS now runs Android apps too. You won't really know the difference because everything just seamlessly works. That means you can have pretty much every app that you use on your Windows 10 laptop available here as well. It'll work differently, it'll feel a little different, but it'll simply get the job done. All in all, for about 22,000 rupees for this particular Chromebook, you get a very, very versatile machine. You shouldn't have too many expectations from this because Chrome OS as a platform is meant for a particular situation, and that is to give you a very, very frugal machine that would work well for education, that would work well in the office, and that would work well at home. Don't expect it to go gaming. Don't expect this to be a multitasking powerhouse. Don't expect this to suddenly become a supercomputer for you at one fine day. The Chrome OS and the HP Chromebook 11 is actually one of those things coming well together that you don't really find on other truly affordable laptops. And that is an experience which doesn't leave you scratching your head.
Now let's talk about motorcycles. Well, a lot of them have been recently updated, but with all that's going around the world, we've not been able to give our love and attention to each and every model that's been rolled out. One of them is the Yamaha FZS-25. But fret not, we finally got our hands on it, and Anirudh has spent some time with the motorcycle, and here's his review on the all-new Yamaha FZS-25.
Now, if you were to ask me to cite the names of all the 250cc offerings in the Indian market right now, I would probably run out of breath. What I'm trying to say is that the segment is crowded. Now, while this does give a lot of options to the consumer, it also means that the more established and older badges have to work a wee bit extra to keep up their relevancy in the current climate, which is what exactly Yamaha had in their mind when they gave the FZS-25 a new update, or we can call it a makeover. So we are here to see if the price hike is worth the purchase and whether you should get one home.
If I have to start with the changes on the 2021 model, I would say that most of it are on the cosmetic front. The new FZS-25 comes with a handful of new design elements, like the new headlamp that comes with a projector lamp borrowed from the MT-15. The motorcycle gets a new paint option, like the green and gold we have, that looks rather stunning. Unlike the outgoing version, the knuckle guard now comes with body color rather than the matte black, like the ones before. Overall, on the design front, it is easy to say that Yamaha has dialed things to 11. The build quality of the panels and other elements on the motorcycles are impeccable and shows its Japanese roots. There are minimum rattle at high speeds, which are only noticeable if you go digging for flaws. The quality of materials used around the instrument cluster and switchgear looks and feels premium to use.
Now the ergonomics, that's where the FZS-25 has always impressed us. get astride the motorcycle, and you are welcomed with neutral set foot pegs and a handlebar that is wide and pulled closer to the rider. Now combine this with a low seat height and the bike becomes easy to handle around traffic and to maneuver around tight parking spaces.
In addition to this, the FZS-25 also offers a wide pillion seat that keeps things comfortable for your peer even on long distance touring. As opposed to what you heard about the motorcycle so far, it is not all blue skies. And the motorcycle's feature list is where we thought there is plenty of room for improvement. Or as I would say, addition. The new version has retained the old instrument cluster that shows vital informations like speed, tachometer, odometer and distance to empty. While we have no problem whatsoever with it, it is hard to ignore that other offerings in the market that are far more affordable comes with connectivity and navigation options as well. Now coming to the crux of the matter, the engine. We were always a fan of what the FZS-25 held at its heart. The unit is retained from the outgoing version, displacing 249cc and producing 20.5 bhp and 20.1 Nm of torque. What makes the engine so practical is the ample of torque that is spread evenly across the low and the mid-range. The motorcycle pulls away easily and quickly from the get-go and also makes overtaking a hoot and a half. The engine is tractable and urban-friendly and manages to do speeds of as low as 35 to 40 km per hour in 5th gear. All of this comes with good refinement and a crisp throttle response. Speaking of the cycle parts, the new FZS-25 retains the old setup. It gets telescopic suspension at the front and monoshock at the rear that are set up on a slightly softer side, promising fatigue-free riding on long tours. However, if we were to talk about the brakes, the FZS-25 could have done with better unit as the front end lacks bite and you have to work the brake lever a little harder. On the flip side, the rear end was quite responsive and did the job quite well.
Now the powertrain and the drivetrain have been retained from the older motorcycle, which means my experience on the new FZS-25 was pretty much the same. But the question still remains, is it worth the price hike? I would say yes. Now while looks are subjective, the green and gold paint scheme and the new headlight does work in its favor. But combine that with its urban-friendly nature and there is no reason to shy away from the FZS-25.
Welcome back. You're watching the Tech and Auto Show and I'm your host Manav Sinha. Now it's time to talk about PUBG. I know it's been a really long time since we've spoken about it, whereas there was a time when we would talk about PUBG almost every single week. The thing is, PUBG might not be there in our lives anymore, but it has had a big impact on the Indian gaming industry. I'll let Shavik explain on that up next.
It has been about 6 months since PUBG Mobile, the massively popular battle royale game, has been banned from India. In September 2020, the Indian central government took the decision to ban PUBG Mobile and PUBG Mobile Lite from the Indian cyberspace, citing data security risk concerns as PUBG Mobile seemed to have ties with Chinese servers because of its distributor being Tencent Gaming. Now, while this was a factor that was presented by the central government at first, many reports have since stated that PUBG Mobile has been attempting to be relaunched in India. Ever since its ban, the PUBG Corporation, which is now owned by Korean company Krafton, has attempted to address the issues that were cited by the Indian central government. The steps that were taken include severing ties with Tencent Gaming, presenting themselves as a purely Korean game with Indian roots. In fact, setting up a PUBG India subsidiary registered with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and also of late looking to hire representatives and company officials who are going to work with the sole cause of PUBG in the country. The impact that PUBG Mobile has had and is having is quite expansive. One of the first proofs of that is Fnatic, which is one of the world's biggest esports gaming teams and companies with heavy sponsorship and a great commercial backing, entered India about a couple of years ago in partnership with device manufacturers in the smartphone space, projecting themselves as a big purveyor of esports in the country. While Fnatic has been a part of gaming events and gaming tournaments in the country, projecting the rise of esports and competitive gaming as a professional industry. Fnatic has taken the decision to leave India in the past month, citing that it is taking a strategic decision to move out of the Indian gaming space. Now, this is seen as a move that happened because of the removal of PUBG Mobile as a competitive game from the Indian cyberspace, which is something that a lot of competitive gamers had said might happen in the long-term future. We had spoken to a number of gamers when PUBG Mobile got banned who had stated that although the Indian gaming space will continue to evolve, the ban of PUBG Mobile can have certain commercial implications, and Fnatic leaving India is seen as one of those commercial implications. There are also further proof that PUBG Mobile continues to have this profound impact on the Indian gaming space. In a recent press briefing, an Asus executive was noted as saying that PUBG Mobile, along with Call of Duty and Garena's Free Fire, account for almost 100 million gamers in the smartphone gaming space in the country, which kind of underlines the importance that PUBG Mobile has on a country like India. The game had made Battle Royale a household name and brought multiple gamers who had access only to smartphones and no gaming consoles or PCs to play professionally and compete with each other in the mobile gaming space. It has also spurned on tournaments, it has spurned on gaming academies, and is sort of seen as the source impact of the point from where the Indian gaming industry really took off on a competitive and commercial scale. The Asus executive also stated that it is this 100 million gamer base which happens to be their main target for their upcoming smartphone, and that gamer space is seen as something that has been built around the hype that PUBG Mobile created with its Battle Royale experience on smartphone. All of these points bring together to assess that PUBG Mobile still continues to have a massive impact on the Indian gaming industry. Krafton, which presently owns the PUBG Mobile trademark and the entire PUBG universe, has spoken of late that it has a priority of bringing the game back. Multiple sources have claimed that the Indian government has given a go-ahead for the game, but News18 could not independently confirm any such information that has been projected so far. As a result, reports about PUBG Mobile's comeback still remains unofficial, but the fact that these reports are almost coming on a regular basis also further reinstate the importance that PUBG Mobile has on a country like India. On the overall sense, PUBG Mobile seems to have been a game that has had such an impact where it will refuse to die down even if the ban continues for the next few months, and is something that has changed the way Indians look at gaming and will probably look at gaming going forward.
And with that, we've come to the end of this edition of the Tech and Auto Show. How did you find the show? Let us know by reaching out to us on Twitter. If it's about technology, reach out to us at News18 Tech. If it's about automobiles, at News18 Auto is where we're at. Well, that's about all for today. I'll catch you same time next week, only on CNN News 18.